Welcome to the David Goad Show. It's the show all about speaking and communication. And today I brought on my friend and professional speaker, Cara Lane. Cara, say hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're with us today. I've got exciting stuff to share with you.
Well, and I can't wait to jump right into it. So let's do it. We're talking about the value of coaching, and you had a unique opportunity. You got invited and selected to speak at a TEDx event in Idaho Falls. And I remember the topic is fantastic. Most people who are struggling, parents who are struggling with their kids on video games, you have a fantastic story about how parents and kids can get along. What was the title of your speech and what was the theme of the event?
Embracing your gamer kid. Send this link to your mom. And to just sum this up, it is all about getting along with a gamer. And so it was an exciting time. I felt very excited to be selected in the first place. It was a dream come true. It had been on my vision board for years.
And the theme was discovery, right?
Yeah. And so beyond discovery of, the topic, I wanted people to discover how to embrace a gamer, and everybody else had different topics that fit in with discovery. Let me tell you what I discovered. I needed a speaking coach. And if I hadn't had one, I think to this day, I would regret the whole talk itself. I cannot tell everybody enough how important having a coach that sees from the outside how you're coming across to your audience.
And when you reached out to me to look for a coach, what prompted that? What was the catalyst to try to select a coach?
It's a very humble story. So I am a professional speaker. It's what I do for a living. And I've been on stages many times, and every time I just use bullet points, or I have a teleprompter. And this time there was going to be neither. And so I just thought, well, I'll still work off of bullet points. And David, you being my coach, I know that any coach would have done this, said you have to memorize your speech and write it all out. And I was so resistant toward that until I bombed completely at one of our practices. And even the other coaches through TEDx were like, yeah, you're going to need some more help and you're going to need to memorize this. And that's when I reached out to you. I was desperate to really make this a speech that would be memorable forever.
Right. And I said, write it down. Then once you got it in writing, your content structure and development and the ability to get help from other people really went to another level. So you were a good student, though. You eventually listened to me. And it did. The story kept growing and getting better, and you tested it. We worked together to test it with other audiences where you learned a few valuable things. So maybe just highlight a couple of things, maybe 2 or 3 things that stood out to you that you learned by having a coach that maybe you wouldn't if you were going on your own.
Yeah, I think that outside perspective helped me learn that, my content creation was just as important as delivery. And TEDx has many rules on data, scientific research. So we had to operate and move within that. And it was a great learning opportunity for you and I both with that. And then as far as my content goes, then how did I end up making it personable? And you were always there for me as a coach saying, we can add this story, we can plug in, almost like characterization of what would your son be thinking here? What would you be thinking? And let's plug that into a phrase or an actual dialogue. David, you helped me with understanding that I could actually do dialogue on stage. It really brought the content alive. That's why I'm thankful for having a coach.
Well, and even when doing dialogue too, we talked about that line between acting and speaking, right? And how you want to appear natural, not just for the people in the room, but also for the audience on camera. Talk about that a little bit, about some of the differences between in person and on camera.
If I hadn't had a coach like you who's had experience in both camera and live audiences, I think I would have just played to my live audience. Here's the problem with that. A TEDx talk lives forever on, YouTube. So you really helped me come to that balance of your gestures, your body movements need to be both for the live audience and the camera. So I was thankful that I had a coach that had experience in both realms.
Okay, one of the quickie thing I want to add in here, everybody has doubts, right? Moments where you're like, oh my gosh, the stakes are so high here, and I hope I don't freeze up. Remember we talked about that? What was the advice I gave you there?
I cannot even tell you how thankful I am I had a coach on this one, because it got to the point where, okay, I'm memorized, I have everything down, and then the fear set in, and the fear of what if I go blank? What if I freeze? I was literally desperate, David, to you one time, and I'm like, David, what do I do if I freeze? You said, take a deep breath, pause, start walking. The audience is going to think that you have an incredible point to bring up, or wow, she's super pensive. And then it'll come back to you, I promise. And I had to believe your promise. And I did. And that happened to me on stage, and I was able to come through it. And it really made a difference. Do you remember doing that for me, helping me like that?
Oh, yeah. And I would invite everybody who's watching now to watch the link. I'll put the link to her TED Talk down below. See if you can find the spot where she might have lost it and recovered. I challenge you to be able to find that. Yeah, and Cara, through all the things we talked about with content, with delivery, with that mindset, I was really proud of how much progress you made and what a great student you were. So thank you again for reaching out to me. So if you could now just think about, to the executives or the professional speakers out there who have a big event coming up and the stakes are high, 20 seconds, what advice would you give to them?
I actually think the people that are higher up on that big level, executives, need a coach even more. So think about the pro players, right? I'm talking NFL, MLB, people that make millions of dollars. If they have a coach, what makes me say that I don't? So the coaching process, I cannot sell you enough on it. It's needed, and it's worth the investment. It's worth the time. And I'm so thankful. Here's why, David, I have no regrets when I watch my video. I'm so thankful I put in the hours of work with a coach.
Fantastic. Well, that's going to be the last word, because it's a really good word. And thank you all for watching today. Please watch Cara's TEDx Talk, Embracing Your Gamer Kid, and send this link to your mom. And you might just want to send it to your mom if you're in that age group or whatever age. But thank you, Cara. So great for you to share today. Would you come back on the show another time so we can dig even deeper into some of these topics?
Yeah, it would be incredible to let people know the nuances of everything that you walked me through as well. First stage, get a coach.
All right. And the only reason I'm a coach today is all the coaching I've received. So it's a circle that keeps on giving. So thanks again, Cara. We appreciate you being on the show. And thank you all for watching the David Goad Show today. We'll see you next time.